Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to a video. Has fat acceptance gone too far? The title was previously called, Is it okay to be fat? We're going to dive straight into the reaction. And if you like this type of content, give me a like. It helps out a lot. Right, let's get it. Let's see what stupidity we're dealing with today. Let's call some people out.
Do you think fat shaming works?
I think so.
Yes, because they start thinking
Yes.
that it is okay.
I'm a fat bitch.
I'm just gonna keep eating. You can't tell me what to do.
Would you want to be fat?
Would I want to have more meat on my bones? Yeah, I'm flat everywhere.
Am I too much? Go find less.
So today I am asking, is it okay to be fat?
Yes, it's okay, it's common, it's regular, normal.
Yes, I mean, look at me. I'm a fat
I don't think it's really okay to be fat because it's a lack of self-love.
I just love myself and people love me because I love myself.
I'd rather have people love themselves, go to the gym, take care of themselves.
A few kilos more or less will not change me.
It has a lot of problems being fat because it is not healthy or good looking.
I think it's okay to be fat, but I wouldn't date a fit
She's
person,
right.
I think.
Is it okay to be
Yeah,
fat?
when you're fatter.
Of course.
You hesitated a little.
Well, because I don't think asking, is it okay to be fat, is a correct question to ask.
Is it even offensive to say fat person or like big bone person?
Yeah, it is offensive to some people. Listen, it's kind of a grey area because, yeah, it is okay to be fat. Like, you can be fat, that's fine, that's your choice. But it's when you start lying to other people and also lying to yourself, saying that I'm fat and happy. Have you ever heard of that statement before? I'm fat and happy. No one is fat and happy. There's no such thing, because at the end of the day, every time you look in the mirror, you're depressed and you don't like how you feel and you don't like that you're unhealthy. So if you're lying to yourself and then you're lying to other people, saying that you're healthy and then trying to push your fatness onto other people and trying to hold other people down, it's more so the mindset that comes with being fat. That's what is not okay.
Comfortable in their body, then they're comfortable in their body. Anything that's going to hamper your arteries or anything like that, I don't know, it's not good.
I think it's not okay. It's not healthy at all.
According to my
you're gonna
doctor, I'm
die.
fat. But if you look at the size of my legs,
You got mailman calves.
yeah, fat is such a generic statement. It's hard to say yes or no.
I grew up
Yeah, according to your doctor, you're fat because you do have a higher body fat percentage, but yet you've got good legs. That has got nothing to do with your fatness. You've got good muscle genetics in your legs, but still, you've got a high body fat percentage, so it doesn't change the fact that, yeah, you're more unhealthy by being fat.
grew up in West Virginia, which happens to be the fattest state.
Were you ever fat?
The biggest I've ever been, I got up to 243. I woke up in the mirror, looked at myself at
Damn.
243. Bubbly, my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my
That's about 105, 110 kilos.
ankles hurt. That moment there, I was like, this is not good. I don't like it. It's not for me. But if it's for you, I think you should get after it.
Whether it be through fat mannequins or plus-size models, the fat acceptance movement has advocated for body positivity for all shapes and sizes.
The girls who are fat models don't even look like models. I mean, let's look at this objectively here if we're going to be judgmental. The girl who looks closest towards being a model here, who would you pick? Have a good close look. Who looks like a model? Not really any of them, but if anyone, I'd have to say the far left and the one in the red, second from left. This is the thing, is you move the goalposts too much when it comes down to the modelling. It's like, oh, you're fat, then you can be a fat model. Even when you scroll back and you see one of the girls who were walking on the catwalk. Okay, so, like, I'm not hating on the woman, but what's a model about that? The standards are slipping.
Fat acceptance movement has advocated for body positivity for all shapes and sizes.
Women of all shapes and sizes do exist, and it's important that you see yourself represented.
Right, now I've got a problem with that. What a friggin' shot to pause on, by the way. But when these people say it's important that we see people of all body shapes and sizes represented, it's a little bit of a victim mentality. No, you shouldn't grow up seeing people like yourself represented. There's no expectation on any industry to make sure that they employ people who look like you, because it's a slippery slope. It's like, where's all the disabled people? Oh, but now where's all the people with one arm? Because I'm seeing people on the telly with no legs, but I've got one arm, so I don't relate with that person. There should not be a need to have you represented through media. Okay, so in America, 2017 to 2018 data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, nearly 1 in 3 adults, 30%, are overweight. More than 2 in 5 adults, 42%, have obesity, and about 1 in 11 adults have severe obesity. Think about that. 1 in 11 people have severe obesity. All it takes you is 10 minutes of walking around Asda or Tesco, and you'll see it. You will see how big people are. 1 in 6 children and adolescents ages 2 to 19 are overweight. 1 in 16 children and adolescents ages 2 to 19 have severe obesity. It's disgusting. The responsibility falls on the parents.
Can you be healthy and obese?
No. You can't.
It's tough, you know?
You know, you can be healthy and still be bigger.
He's big.
Now, this is what people do. I haven't seen this video, and I guarantee that people once again will start moving the goalposts. They'll start saying stuff like, oh, I know someone who's like super skinny, but they eat loads of sugar.
Wrestlers in Japan, I forgot their name.
Oh, sumo wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like
see?
you're strong.
Like, I play volleyball, I play soccer, I was a competitive cheerleader. So I think it all just kind of, it all encompasses in what you're able to do.
I'm not a doctor. I probably wouldn't want to answer that at all.
Let me ask you this then. Like, what does it mean to be healthy?
Well, mental health is very important, and also
Once again, talking about mental health.
physical health, of course.
I don't think anyone's
That's it,
purely healthy. You're able to have healthy tendencies. I have a brother who was a track athlete who was an alcoholic, so I think it just depends on
Right, okay, so once again, moving the goalposts.
the tendencies you choose to focus on.
So I wanted to know, isn't health more
Anything just to avoid answering the question. Can you be healthy if you're obese? No, of course not.
than just the weight on the scale? Health isn't just about physical appearance, right? There's also things like mental, spiritual health. Do you think you can just say that just because you're fat, you're not healthy?
If you're fat, emotional, you won't be good, because you feel bad, your clothes doesn't fit, it is horrible.
Were you ever fat
She's
like,
right.
in any time of your life?
Like 6 months ago, I was fat.
What does that mean?
I got cancer and I was on medicine, hormone
Bless her.
therapy. Even cancer is a problem because of weight.
This is true. Obesity is the second biggest cause of cancer behind smoking. But let's not talk about that in case anyone gets offended.
America has a really big push for body positivity and fat acceptance. It's okay to be fat. It's healthy to be fat.
I don't support that.
Why?
I think it's okay to accept your body, but if it's like health concerning, going on the internet and
Oh.
saying I'm so happy with myself, I'm sorry I don't.
Hey, we covered it in a video the other week. This one. I'll link it up here if you want to go and watch that. Ridiculous.
Going on the internet and saying I'm so happy with myself, I'm sorry I don't believe you.
I don't think that you should shame people. I don't think that you should just say, hey, that's okay. You know, it starts out as accept me and then help me, but then it moves into, no, just accept me. I'm just going to keep eating. You can't tell me what to do.
They think that, oh yes, it is okay to be fat, let's eat more. I don't think it is a good idea to make that movement.
I agree with that movement and I like it and I think it's okay because not everybody looks the same way. Sometimes you're not fat and some people call you fat. Yeah, it's not okay.
The thing is when you're born, everyone does look the same way, pretty much. And then through lifestyle choices, poor decisions, that's how our bodies change. And obviously in a positive manner as well. People who were in shape made good decisions to get there.
ballet dancer and I quit because of that, so imagine.
It's great for people to feel good, but I would rather like promote more healthy stuff than seeing models that are fat. We accept this as the norm. I don't think that's a good thing.
And when media has the power to shape culture, it's worth examining what's being shown.
I think there is a trend now of glamorizing morbid obesity.
Soak it in.
I can do things while being fat, and if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't regret it. I am fat, and there's no shame in it for me.
Now look, influencers have always existed, from Jesus to traditional celebrities, and now micro-influencers. So with social media, we can now connect with people in any niche that speak to us in our viewpoints, including fat influencers.
You are beautiful just the way you are. No one owes you their body.
And on the surface, it's a message that most of us can get behind, of self-love and acceptance. But on the other hand, is this a message that's contributing to the obesity epidemic? Have body positivity symbols trap themselves and their audience in their own message?
Yeah, we've seen this in the past when these fat acceptance influencers, if you like, when they finally start trying to lose weight because they accept that they're fat and they're unhappy, the whole audience turns against them. They're basically promoting the opposite message of what they were previously promoting, which is just be happy with your current state, fat and happy.
Adele has been known as one of the most successful musicians of her generation, and it so happened that not only was she known for her talents, but also viewed as an icon of body positivity.
I don't want to be some skinny mini with my tits out. I'm just writing love songs.
But on May 2020, after posting an IG pic of her significantly losing weight, some of her fans started accusing her of betraying the body positivity movement.
There you go.
Even when it wasn't her intended brand.
So many women were mad when Adele lost all that weight.
I was body positive then and I'm body positive now. But it's not my job to validate how people feel about their bodies.
It's not just Adele. From Jonah Hill to countless others, losing weight was like a stab in the back.
Jonah Hill's weight has been talked about as much as his movies.
It is a big deal. People are obsessed with it.
And so the same people that are advocating for body acceptance of all shapes and sizes are the same ones calling betrayal for losing weight.
Hey, and when you look at all these body positive folk, they all look the same. They've all got purple hair, big glasses. They look like your feminist crazy people.
I think a culture of fat openness creates a population of more fat people.
Fat people will always also have these insecurities. That's why they build a community where they push and support each other. As I said, if it's health concerning, I don't think this movement should be like too strong.
So has the movement become too extreme?
I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement, being a pioneer in this game. Like, I literally was one of the first influencers to work with Fashion Nova before they even had a plus size line. But let's be for real. Health is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And if somebody's telling you that, it's because they're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them.
Because if questioning the issue is seen as an attack, does it suggest that more of the focus is on resistance to change rather than acceptance? But if it is about acceptance, has the message at least been consistent for everyone? Do you think there are different body standards for men and women?
Women have this different connotation than men have. Maybe it's more acceptable for a man to be larger than a woman.
For example, like a girl might say, like, I will never date someone that's shorter. Or let's say if a man says, I'll never date someone over this weight.
My husband's tall and some people have shorter boyfriends. Kind of all depends on what you want in life.
Would it be rude if like men started saying like, I won't date girls over a certain weight?
I think physical attraction is important just as much as an emotional attraction.
Yeah, I don't really see like fat models for guys. We always have the
He needs to ask fat people this. There's been countless podcasts and street interviews where women will say, no, I only want a man who's over 6 foot or 6'6". But then if the man says, okay, well, I want a woman who weighs less than me or who weighs 9 stone or 8 stone, then it's like a double standard. The women can't handle that. So it's okay for women to have preferences, but not for men to have preferences.
Standard of the jack dude.
Men have a lot of pressure now to look good, but when it comes to sexuality, why am I a hoe if I like to and you guys are the kings and I'm the hoe? I think
because female promiscuity has always been frowned upon.
This double
standard, and it always will be.
Oh my god, this pissed me off so much.
Do you think there's different body standards between men and women?
100%. Right now we have a big trend for the dad bods, so my wife says, no, it's great. But then if you look at a woman who might have the mom bod at just given birth, people shame them for the way they look.
That's actually an interesting point. I've actually heard more of like the reverse, in the sense that there's a lot of like, let's say, plus-sized models that are women, but not really like plus-sized models that are for men.
And once again, when women say dad bods, you know what they mean? They mean like Chris Hemsworth in the off-season. They mean Jason Momoa when he's not movie ready. So they're talking about like 6'4" fellas who are still actually jacked with a little bit of body fat on them. That's what they mean by dad bods.
So I wanted to ask an actual plus-size model, why? Why do you see a lot of like plus-size modeling for girls, but not like plus-size modeling for men?
I think, to be honest, some people fetishize fat girls.
You don't think there's any fetish for like fat dudes?
Just met a fat dude yesterday and he was cuter than his friend. But you know, I'm very demanding in the bedroom and I think they need that stamina. Because I don't have a lot of condition, so the guy has to do the work.
Yeah, like, I think it is a bit of a fetish. Like, if you get a fella who's into big women, it's either one of two things. They either have a fetish for it, or they don't have the options for slim women. So, usually, if a fella has options, he'll always choose the girls that are a little bit more slim, fit, in shape, or even just healthy. And now, don't get me wrong, you will get these fellas out there who are like 10 out of 10 men, top 1% men, and they will sleep with the odd fat girl here and there, but that doesn't mean that that's wifey material. That's who they're going to wife up. As I spoke about in a lot of my videos, men choosing someone to sleep with and choosing someone to wife up are two completely different things.
So it made me think, is it better to discourage people from being overweight or to fully accept it despite its potential consequences? Well, I'm curious. So, you say that it's very important for people to demonstrate, like self-care and not being fat. Do you think then fat shaming is a good way to promote people to be fit?
I feel it's not the best way to go about it. If you use other methods, they can be more mindful about the eating patterns, fitness, and all that stuff.
Every time you attack someone on their physique, not a good way to go about things.
Well, you're telling me off camera you lost 45 pounds. What made you want to do that in the first place?
People around you are in shape and, you just can't lose sight of that.
Exactly, so it's the competitive nature, and men can typically handle this a little bit more than women. Like, a man is more likely to look at himself in the mirror after watching a few episodes of Love Island and say, I'm a fat piece of crap, I need to get myself sorted. Whereas a woman is more likely to watch Love Island, feel bad about the shape that she's in, and then eat a tub of ice cream. So fat shaming, it's one of those. I do believe it's useful, but at the end of the day, we've got to accept that a lot of people aren't mentally strong enough enough to be able to take that shaming and then turn it into action to turn the situation around and improve the circumstances. Whereas, I feel bad saying this, but some people are just destined for failure no matter what. So you can shame them, you can support them, you can give them everything they ever need, you can give them therapy, and they're just not going to do anything with it, and they're always going to stay fat and unhappy.
So your environment not only influences your actions, but also your trajectory. And when that's the case, we're both influencing and influenced by the people we spend the most time with. And so when your actions can directly impact the people closest to you, it may be a different way to explore whether it's okay to be fat. Well, let me ask you this. What would you do if your kids are fat?
I think it's like a problem. It's like a disease.
Disease?
You cannot live like that.
Would you want your kids?
If your kids are fat, you failed as a parent. I'm sorry if anyone's watching with fat kids, but you just need to turn that round. Like, it's not the kids' fault. Yeah, they asked for sweets. You just say no, and then they cry, and they learn.
Be fat?
No.
What would you do if they are?
Like, exercise is like a big part of my life.
But I thought you can't really like force someone to change though, right?
Well, they are my kids, so I can do whatever the I want.
Mexico is one of the fatter countries in the world. Well, what is French culture like when it comes to fat people?
So I grew up fat, not really fat.
Chunky?
Yeah. My brothers called me like the Michelin.
The Michelin Man.
And that stuck with me like for a long time. And I think that's one of the reasons why I went to exercise a lot.
Well, so let me dig into that. That seems like fat shaming worked.
I think so.
And this is where body shaming works. I was never like a big kid in school. I was super skinny, small, and I feel like I was picked on here and there for being small, despite the fact I'd done martial arts. That stuck with me, and it made me get into the gym. I was like, I can't be small. I need to be able to handle myself physically. Even when I was going to martial arts, a lot of the bigger fellas would, let's say, manhandle me because they just had more physicality. They were older, they were bigger. So it forced me to take action. And now, look what's happened. I've become a personal trainer. I've made a lot of money doing so. I've opened my own gym, which I've owned for the last 8 years, going on 8 years this year. And we've got 15 personal trainers in the gym, all who've got 20, 30 clients each. Look at how much influence and how many people we have helped just through me getting shamed for being skinny and small. The butterfly effect is real.
And in countries like Japan, we've seen even more drastic measures of shaming.
Big bellies in Japan are suddenly bad news.
The Metabo law enacted in 2008 requires employers to measure their employees' waist circumference to prevent metabolic syndromes caused by obesity to identify those at risk. And it aims to encourage healthier lifestyles and participation in health management programs. And even as a developed society, Japan is one of the least fat countries. So
this is brilliant because it's even better for the companies as well, because they know that employees are always going to be healthy, or at least they're mitigating some of the risk of them getting sick, of them getting colds, of them having heart problems, type 2 diabetes, stuff that's going to affect the work environment. I didn't know Japan done that. I knew that Japan were actually one of the lowest in terms of for the obesity rate, but I didn't know they'd done it to that extent. That's pretty good. I've got a personal training gym. Maybe I should even do this with the PTs, make sure that the biceps are measuring X amount of inches.
There's not as many obese people in Iran as I see when I go to Vegas. Everything in US, the portion size is just like overloaded. So, but back home, more organic stuff, and people eat with family, so it's more enjoyable.
So I think it's a cultural thing. In New York,
definitely a cultural thing. Everyone in the UK here are like fat, overweight, depressed, out of shape, and miserable.
For example, I was with another plus-size girl. We were walking on the street, and every 5 minutes, wherever you go, they were like, "Hola, señoritas," you know? Europe, where I am from, they like slim girls, but I think in most of the US parts, they like them fat and juicy.
I think I can guess why they were saying "Hola, señoritas" when you're walking around with your baps out. There you go. There's 2 reasons right in front of you. YouTube, please don't demonetize me.
America are fat, juicy, and thick.
Because honestly, the food is really shitty, and then the good food, healthy food is so fucking expensive, so people eat unhealthy.
As opposed to...
It's actually possible to still lose weight eating unhealthily. I've done a few videos on my Instagram about this. You can eat on the go, and you can eat out of garages and for convenience, but still limit your calories and still lose weight. Are you going to be the healthiest person who's getting all my micronutrients in and getting my vitamin C and fiber intake up for the day? No, probably not, but at least you're going to lose fat, which will make you healthier.
To France where, of course, there is like fat people, but way less like in terms of percentage.
Are you trying to say that American food's bad?
American
It is. And over again, what we see is an obvious link between what you eat and how fat you are. In that if you want to lose weight, you might want an obvious link between what you eat and how fat.
Hey, and look at the parents as well. You got the dad right there on the right, who's massive, morbidly obese. You got this guy here. He's probably guy in his 20s talk about letting yourself down, like destroying all of your potential in life, letting yourself get to this state. Like, ridiculous. You had a heart attack waiting to happen, and it's sad, and whose fault is it?
But what we see is that the food and health system in America goes a lot deeper than that. And as always, the key is to follow the money.
Our food environment doesn't match what humans are meant to eat.
A lot of people don't even know what processed foods are. Every system is built on these food lies because it makes them money. It's the profits in the processing. Cheap processed food made of corn, wheat, soy, like chicken nuggets, ready-to-go meals, a huge profit market. You grow meat, fish, eggs, vegetables. There's not a lot of profit margin in that. The big processed food companies, they have all the money. Now they can do lobbying, marketing. Most of the industry research out there is funded by these big food companies.
I find something very disturbing about that. And when most of our food system is producing processed foods, we become so accustomed to the effects that we don't even realize it until we go somewhere else.
For the past 10 days, I've been in Italy and I've eaten nothing but meat, cheese, pasta, and pizza. And you know what? I felt fantastic.
I ate like absolute shit and didn't work out, and I never felt healthier.
It turns out the EU has way stricter food regulations than the US. They don't allow as many preservatives, additives, or GMOs. I think we're literally eating poison here.
And with our system incentivizing providers to treat illnesses and diseases rather than prevention, it makes you wonder, is the system set up to keep people sick and treat patients as subscription customers to maximize profit?
The whole medical system is not...
Damn, look at it on the bed.
Patients as subscription...
Look at that. That's ridiculous, isn't it? By the way, everything that he's saying here as well, in terms of the profit margins on foods, it is true.
So when the issue is not just about laziness, but a system that is feeding you unhealthy options, then what is the solution?
What do you think is like the right balance between acceptance and improvement?
You have to accept the people who choose the way they want to be. And for the improvement side, you just have to be there to support the people who want to make improvements. You can't just force your beliefs on someone, and you can't force someone to make a change.
Because the first step to improvement is acceptance. And more importantly, deciphering if you're deluding yourself from working towards improvement in the name of acceptance. Because if there's even a tiny whisper inside of you that's telling you should be doing more and that you don't want to be fat, then you're settling.
Maybe look yourself in the mirror a little bit.
Just be honest to yourself.
Yeah.
Just be honest with yourself.
Because the moment you start looking inwards, you can start changing your reality. And what used to be your insecurity can now become one of the best reasons for wanting to improve. It's why the lonely outcast nerd creates a social network. It's why the misunderstood comedian wants to make people laugh. And it's why the person who works out consistently year after year was once the fat kid. And it's when we start embracing brutal honesty within ourselves and life is when we start uplifting others around us to do the same. And that's exactly the mission, to explore the unfamiliar.
Good video, lads. Go and check out his channel. His name is Jen on YouTube. That really good videos, almost like a proper documentary. But I'll tell you what the answer is right here. It's accountability on the parents, and the parents taking responsibility over what they feed the kids and practicing good habits and good nutrition. And then it's also on the kids as they grow up into adults. They do have to get to the point where they're like, do you know what? My parents screwed up. They made me fat, but they're not going to save me now. I am a fully grown adult, and it's up to me. I haven't had the best start in life, but it's up to me to change that and turn that round. So ultimately, it all just boils down to taking responsibility, being honest with ourselves, and trying to be better people, as I say, to our kids, and then also for ourselves as we grow up. Anyway, guys, comment down below. This has been a little bit of a longer one. Let me know if you like this type of video. It's a little bit less formal, and we just sit back and we watch some content together and we react to it. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure you give the video a like for me. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And here's some more videos, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.